The fate of the 2015 nuclear accord appears stuck in a loop. Iran gave the US a February 21 deadline to lift sanctions. The date came and went. Then last week, the European Union proposed direct talks between the US and Iran. Tehran rejected the offer.
We won't have any bilateral talks with the United States. As long as the US has not rectified its wrong path, no change will occur in Iran's policies.
Iran says talks will only be possible after the US lifts crippling sanctions imposed by the former Trump administration, when it pulled the US out of the nuclear deal between Tehran and major world powers. The Biden administration says it would return to the pact known as the JCPOA if Tehran returns to full compliance.
First, let me say we're disappointed in Iran's response. We remain ready to re-engage in meaningful diplomacy to achieve a mutual return to compliance with JCPOA commitments, and we will be consulting at every level with our P5+1 partners on the best way forward.
One of the key components of the deal is allowing regular inspections by the UN's nuclear watchdog, the International Atomic Energy Agency, to verify the amount of uranium enriched by Iran. In response to the US refusal to revoke sanctions, Iran suspended some of those inspections in February. For the next 3 months, Iranian authorities will keep recordings from monitoring equipment at nuclear sites, but it will only pass them on to inspectors if US sanctions are lifted at the end of 90 days. But the move to limit inspections in any way has raised the prospect that a formal rebuke could be issued against Iran at this week's IAEA meeting.
The inspection work of the IAEA must be preserved. The inspection work of the IAEA should not be put in the middle of a negotiating table as a bargaining chip.
While the diplomatic battle of wills carries on, the costs of the sanctions continue to mount for many Iranians.
The people have been under severe economic pressure so far, and if they want to cut off cooperation, of course these pressures will intensify. The problems have become so great that people cannot even have an average life.
There's also a desire from some here to see more action from their government when it comes to ending the standoff.
The government must solve this problem by interacting and talking to the world. Sanctions have put financial pressure on the government to prevent it from receiving oil money. The government has also imposed this pressure on the people.
While the deal is being discussed on the world stage, it's also happening in a year where domestic politics is front and center. Iranians will vote for a new president in June to succeed Hassan Rouhani. And that raises the possibility that a hardliner could be the one to take Iran's seat at the negotiating table if the deal isn't restored before then. The nuclear accord is hanging on for now, but just how much longer can this diplomatic status quo be maintained? Natalie Perhonen, The Newsmakers.